Welcome back. This is Technics, and we're doing some more bitCraft. And I've been playing around with some stuff. See, I'm down here in the basically what I dug into my gizmos and gadgets, and I pulled out a couple things: the slide dimmer and the little bar graph. If you look through the guide for bitCraft, this is kind of set up. It shows, only I use this little adapter thing just so I could bring it over here and put this down here instead of having it come off the edge and have to use another one of these. Anyway, so I am. Oh, it looks like I lost power, but as soon as I get connected, of course, because I think I just lost power to my cloudBit. Because it just turned white. Anyway, I really wanted to kind of see. I know what happens with the light. You know, the lights, or the lights for receiving, for transmitting from here and receiving to here. And with a button, I can open the door. I wanted to play with the slide dimmer and kind of see what you can do with it, like if it actually outputs different, a different strength of redstone. And now I'm ready. So what I've been doing is, my first experiment. Well, my first experiment was without the pistons. Basically, I was looking to see how far this would go. On one full signal from a from the slide dimmer. Also, I found out that if you put, let's say you put a well, let me show you. Okay, first I'm going to show you this. Get up here. So what I did was I laid out. See, there's 16. 13, 14, 15. Okay, no, there's 15. Of these repeaters, 15 redstone dust, and I found out that basically, like, you can adjust based on how much of the slide dimmer you're using. Let me show you this here. So I'm just turning it up a little bit, and it is gradually giving more signal. So it's kind of like, when you're using a comparator with different strengths, different signal strengths and stuff. Also, I found out that what I'm showing here is that this is the receive right here. So basically, this is receiving from this. When I'm transmitting, this is going back out. If I put a transmit right off the side here, it will come back in and show on my bar graph. And what I found out is that in this configuration, every 3 redstone dust is 1 light. So there's 3, and then let's see, should be another light there. There we go. Yeah. So there's 3 more. And trying to get up here. Halfway is another light. And the next 3 is the yellow light. And then the last 3 is the red light. So what I was trying to do, what I wanted to do, put that there for a second. What I really wanted to do, oops, I'm throwing stuff now. Okay. So what I was kind of fooling around with was, what I wanted to do was if you see the blocks of iron down here, it's because I was going to put a bunch of beacons down here, and then I was going to do, just for fun, I was going to do colored beacons in the color of the the lights here. So I was going to do 3 sets of green, and then a set of yellow and a set of red. Then I realized that doesn't work because of this plugin is 1.7.10, and obviously a lot of there's some things such as coloring beacons that came in after 1.8, so I can't do that right now. I went online, or actually what I was going to do, I was going to dig in and actually modify the mod. I was going to update the mod to take 1.8. Then I went looking online in the litleBits forums, and it turns out that the developer actually originally wrote the mod, the bitCraft mod, in 1.8, but then rewrote it in 1.7, 1.10 because that's what the majority of modded servers use for their mods, like on Technic and stuff, just because it's more stable, more compatible, and so he wanted it to be more. They wanted it to be more compatible with everything. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually get. See if it's possible to get a copy of the 1.8, or if they're going to publish it sometime. That's the only thing I can't quite understand. Is if he wrote it in 1.8, I don't understand why, even if he wasn't supporting it currently, why they wouldn't post it for just to make it available. Just you could say, hey, this is the one that's supported, but here's 1.8 because it's done. But if I can't get it, then I might go in and do some editing and see if I can get it working on 1.8. It's just going from 1.7 to 1.8 is kind of a mess compared to doing just small versions, like all the 1.7 versions, when you're updating Forge and stuff. Anyway, so what I'm doing is one of the things I wanted to there's two things I kind of wanted to play with to see if it would work, and one was train track switching, which does work, which is pretty cool. And so I'll show that in a minute. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to show that right now because it's pretty quick. Basically, I figured if there's a lot of ways to do train track switching, but if you're using this, it's possible to. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just one block, and you can use it to, switch the track either direction. So, basically, the only problem is I can't use. Well, I was thinking about doing powering my rails and switching, but I think that would require two cloudBit modules, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to get another cloudBit module, just because I really want to do some more intensive stuff, which it might require stuff, because if you're powering it, I mean, all the modules are running off the same, they're linked to the same module, so, which is this one right here, which is, the one I named littleBits. So it's going to, anything that I do with this, it's going to be controlling all of the modules in the game. So it's, if I'm trying to power and do train track switching, then it's going to kind of not work too well. But basically what I'm doing, just crossing over. So I think I'll just go to the end here. Looks like I left one up there. Now I'm going to go back. But now I should be, well, now I'm going to take a loop. I'm going to have to break this real quick. Oops. Alright, get that up there. Another block. Okay. So now I should be in a loop, but if I can switch the blocks. So now I cross over, but if I switch it back, I think the only problem I'm worried about here, although I think if I'm doing just one train track switch, I'm not going to have to worry about it like, so, let's see, hold on. If I do, it takes a second to switch. Yep, see, but now I can be in a loop. And I'm crossing back over. So basically, let me get out of here. Here by default, I'm going forward. But But if I switch it, then I can cut over here. I think the only problem I noticed is up here, this is a real quick switch. So if I wanted to turn and then get back on, I'd have to switch it real quick, and there's a little bit of delay. But you know, if you're doing train track switching, if you're doing like huge rail systems and you're just doing a split in one spot and you're not actually crossing back over like something like that, although I think this would be kind of like a I forgot what they're called on rail tracks. You know, where they like a pass, like a pull out for where they switch off tracks to let another train go by. Then this would, you know, be like this, but it does work. And this is one of the things I was wondering if I could do. But going back to so I'm going to play with this a little bit more and see if I can do something a little bit more elaborate. But one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to fool with variable speed redstone ticks. So well, what I first was thinking is, I mean, Renee, here this is just well, I wanted to power this with I have a switch here, and then I have a single tick with a reverse single tick, just to flip this switch here. So because I think everybody knows what the switch is. So basically that turns it on or turns it off. So what I wanted to do was power this down here. Let's see, put this here. So that, let me turn this off. So that I could do a little bit of power and then turn each one on as they go, like that. But then when I turn the power off, because on the single tick, when you turn it off, the power is off, but it still stays ticked. So I had to put in the reverse single tick in order to sort of negate that. But then I decided to simplify it, because this is just way too much for what I was actually trying to do. What I wanted to do was just a variable speed anything. So let's say, and this kind of came back to my idea with the beacons, is because on one of the things, I think I showcased it, or I had it, I think I showed it in one of my other videos, was I have, and a number of people have done it, as like a you know, color changing beacon, where basically I have a whole bunch of beacons, and then I have a whole bunch of colored glass on you know, like a conveyor that's moving. But I was thinking, you know, what if I wanted to do something like that, but like do it slowly, but then change the speed, you know, with this is make it variable speed. So what I ended up doing was kind of the same concept, but a little bit more simplified. I have a single tick circuit right here, and then on each of these I have just a loop at different speeds. So I'd set all of these repeaters just at different speeds. So this is like all 4s, this is all 3s, this is 3 2, so 2 3 2 3. This is 2 2 2 2, and this is 1 1 1 1, because this is going to be the fastest. So obviously slow, faster, 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 fastest. And then I also have, so basically what this does is this throws the single tick into the loop to start it. But in order to start and break the loop, I have just a piston, or a block on a piston, and going down here, basically, so when power comes onto this, it turns this off, does a reverse, and then turns this on, pushes the piston up to complete the loop. I also have what's set up over here is sort of a reverse circuit. So if this, anytime anything above the first one is down, so this is the first one. If this one turns on, then this right here will power over here, which will negate this and turn that off. And so then I have basically the same circuit running all the way down from each one. So basically what happens is, let me turn this, let me set this up real quick. So this is going to be just transmit. All right, so basically, if I do the first light, essentially, it powers this, sends a tick, turns that on, and I have this piston basically getting powered, at a slow speed. Then what I did is, if I turn it to the next, and that's the other thing, is since it's every 3 redstone is basically one, because I could do even more, but basically every redstone, every 3 redstone is 1 light. So basically I just put a repeater at every 3 redstone. So what I do is, over here, if I go to the next light, this will power here, send the tick in, do this, but because this one is powered, it sends the signal back underneath to negate that and turn this one off. So basically, if I do the next one, it'll turn that one off. So anytime I'm at a different level, that's the only one that's going. The only thing I'm still kind of working on it. I have a, and of course, if you notice the piston's going faster or slower, turn it back down to, let's say, medium. The only thing that I do have a couple little hiccups that I'm still working on. Obviously, when it kind of get a couple jams. And then there's also kind of a hiccup that happens when you go from, I think it's 2. So this is kind of going. It's basically when there's a change in speed, and there's still a tick going through. Let's say there's still a tick going through here, and then this one's coming through. Then this one will kind of like double up real quick before it goes to the next one. Doesn't make a huge difference going to the last ones because it's already going a lot faster. And then of course this one. Don't turn that all the way down. Yeah, so I mean that's the one. When I saw the slider, that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do variable speed. And I'm sure there's might be a little bit easier way to do this. This is just kind of what came to my mind at the time, and also I could condense it if I needed to. But I was just sort of working it out to make sure that it's possible, and then of course see if I can make it a little bit better. Let's see what time it is. So yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm kind of working some stuff out before I actually do some major builds, just to see, kind of mess with some of these components, see how they interact. Obviously, I wanted to see if this did put out, which it does, different strength signal for the redstone, which definitely helps, because then you could do, like, I don't know, there's a lot of things you could do with it if you could just control the amount of redstone, like I said, variable speed, ticks, and all that kind of stuff. And then I have some other ideas that I'm kind of working on. The train switching, I am going to see what else I can do with that. I'm like I said, I really think and considering getting another cloudBit, just for one of two reasons. Either, well, one is so that I can do more things. Also, if I have things, like if someone else is using the other one or something like that, because I know my friend was testing a door, like a hidden doorway and stuff like that. I mean, I think using things like this, I want to try to apply them in ways that are more difficult. I mean, it's easy to push a button and have a door open. But but you could do that easily in Minecraft with a button, or a pressure plate, or a redstone torch, or whatever. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come up with things that are more difficult to do in Minecraft with redstone, that things like this would more easily enable me to do. So, like the variable speed, or train switching, or I think I'm also trying to see if there's a limit to I/O for this, because one thing I did notice is and I don't know, I still have to figure out if it's the mod itself, because I find that obviously modded servers, modded Minecraft typically are much more resource intensive. So it uses more RAM, it uses more CPU. I have plenty of both on my computer, more than enough. But I was noticing when I was playing with this early on, I did make some video modifications, so it might have been or some just some various modifications in here, so it might have helped. It did help a little bit, but I noticed that my CPU at times is pegging 100, and it's from being in here. I know, because as soon as I close this out, it dumps back down to nil. So I don't know if it's the mod itself being like the fact that it's a modded server, but this is like the only mod on here really. I mean, it's Forge and then this, or if it's the I/O from the mod, like me doing this where it's in and out, or if I do like this, doing an in and out, where I'm transmitting in, or I'm receiving in, I'm transmitting out, that like the loop or something is causing a lot of resource usage. So like, I mean, we're just doing that. Just I noticed it jumped up 20% from 65 to 85. So I don't know if that's, I kind of want to test it a bit and see if that's what might be causing that. But I think it might also be known to the developers. If not, then I'm gonna report it, just because that's it might be, maybe it's something that can be worked on. Anyway, so I think I just wanted to do a little bit of just a small video to kind of show some of the things that I'm starting to come up with, and to show a little bit about how these modules work. I'm still just barely breaking the surface of stuff that you can come up with. I'm going to go through. That's the other thing, is a lot of I have a whole bunch of Redstone stuff on my other server, on my Play server, but it's 1.8, and so there's some functionality that not just the beacons, but some other stuff that are, I believe, 1.8 plus, that I would like to possibly utilize these for, because it would make redstoning, I think, a little bit easier, because this takes the place of this takes the place of what could be multiple circuits, and that would be a huge space saver, even though it might be a bit of a resource hog. So kind of have to figure out the balance of that. But yeah, there's some stuff that I want to try, but I don't know if it's going to require 1.8, so I'm really trying to see if I can get the 1.8 module mod pack, and if not, then well, it's not even mod pack. I mean, the mod pack is essentially it's Forge, I think Forge FML, and Forge, basically it's just Forge and this plug, or this module, this one module. So all I need is the one mod that is 1.8, and then I can just update Forge and stuff like that, and do that. But if not, if I can't get it from the developer, then I'm just gonna have to dig in and update it. I was kind of trying to yesterday, yesterday I was playing with it, but it was being a bit of a pain in the rear. because there's, before I even went in and made edits to any code or anything like that, I had to get Forge updated, and it just wasn't working right. So anyway, so yeah, I think I just wanted to show this off. I will be playing with some more. My friend's jumped on already once, and he's going to probably be doing some more. I'll try to come up with some stuff that maybe requires assistants to show off, and start coming up with some even cooler stuff. I'll start playing with some of my other littlEBits modules to see if there's anything else I can do. Like, I don't know, like I know the Wi-Fi was something I wanted to play with. The servo. I'm trying to come up with ideas where these things will interact well with Minecraft. I could easily just push a button in Minecraft and then a servo starts running, but what does that do for me? You know what I mean? And what I want to try to do is like see if there's something I can do where I do something, the servo starts running, and it triggers something that sends back into Minecraft, that triggers something in Minecraft, kind of stuff. So something, a little bit more complicated. That's what I'm trying to come up with. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, hoping you're enjoying the playthrough, and if you are, then please do remember to like, subscribe, share, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.